Hi, my name is Israel Vasquitelli, and welcome to the Turntable, a roundtable discussion featuring music and entertainment business students, artists, and anyone with a vested interest in the music business. And today we have some amazing panelists that are going to talk to us about crowdfunding. So let's go ahead and start on this side of the table. And if you don't mind, Kenny, tell us a little bit about yourself and also your connection to or perspective on crowdfunding.
My name is Kenny Hope, and I produce under Kenny Hope electronic music, and as well as Seraphim. I have a couple monikers that I run under, and also run a label called Unclosed. Throw events under Rabbit Hole. So I've not really utilized the crowdfunding perspective when it comes to raising money. So I'm interested to at least get a good view on what's the deal with that. I've mainly ran through investors and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting topic for me.
All right, yeah,
Cool.
all right, Mitch.
My name is Mitch Foster. I am the founder of Shows I Go To and showsigoto.com. Shows I Go To is a national online music and arts magazine based right here in Orlando, Florida. And we recently went through a small round of crowdfunding, and I'm excited to discuss that and what we learned from it and what we kind of grew from it and what our takeaway is.
Wonderful. All right, Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol from Mount Inc., a company dedicated to making events and producing artists and managing them. Also, I really haven't had the opportunity of doing any crowdfunding, but I did see two things that interest me on in the rewards area and the donate area in crowdfunding. So I wanted to see a little bit more about that.
Awesome. And Abiary.
Hi, I'm Abiary Blackberry, also known as Producer Bae. I am an entertainment business student here. I'm also a songwriter, and here at the school I was able to start an urban culture magazine called Drip Mag. It features rap, hip hop, R&B, Afrobeats, and reggaeton. So I was really thrilled to be a part of it here and to be here at the new student event doing that thing. So we've done it in a couple of years.
Wonderful. So clearly the idea of crowdfunding, even if you all haven't necessarily been involved or put together your own campaigns, it's relevant to your worlds, either directly or maybe somebody that you're working with on the management side. But I love to maybe start with Mitch and have Mitch, since he actually had a campaign that was successful. Tell us a little bit about how that rolled out, some of the ways that you made decisions about the campaign, and any insight that you could share would be awesome.
For sure. Thanks. I guess an overview of why we even did this. In November, we put on a festival. We lost a bunch of money, which I'm sure everyone at this table has done. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, man. And I was at the point where I was ready to just give up everything that I've built for the last almost 6 years. And it was really the fans and the people who love what we do and the community and the musicians that really kind of got me out of this hole and shook me and said, no, you cannot stop this. And coming up with different ways to kind of raise money, one we landed on was some sort of crowdfunding. And I just, it's so hard to ask for money as somebody who is just trying to build something out of passion. And with doing like an Indiegogo or like a Kickstarter, or a Pledge Music, I couldn't do it. And they talked me into doing a donation-based crowdfunding. So there was no minimum amount that you had to donate. It was very low obligation, and some people donated $100. There was such a tremendous just hope that built inside of me from this, and it really just pulled me out of everything that I was in, and it ended up being very successful, and we got 75% of the funds that we needed out of that crowdfunding experience.
Wow.
So it was really cool, and the rest was just me working my butt off to make it work.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so what platform did you end up using?
We used a platform called Donation Box, and Donation Box is a very low fee option where people can donate any amount they want, really, and you can send updates, you can communicate with them. It's not so much like a musician would use for like an album release or something, or a tour where they are offering perks throughout the steps. This is more of you're just donating to help something survive, and the perks that you're going to get through something like that, you really have no expectations for. So everything that you deliver after the fact, after they donate, is just a bonus for your person who's just helping you out.
Right. Interesting. So was there something specific about that platform that had you go the route of the non-traditional companies that we're familiar with, the Kickstarters, the Indiegogos?
I think it came down to just a personal preference because, as mentioned before, I didn't want to say we need you to each donate $25 or $50 or this is what you're going to get. There's so many people that came to me that said, I just want to help. How can I help? And I finally set up this donation page where if they wanted to help, they could. I didn't want to make anyone feel obligated to help or anybody feel like they needed to contribute in order to keep it going. They just did it out of the goodness of their heart and because they believed in it or because they were impacted by what we've done over the last 6 years. And they wanted to figure out a way to give back.
Yeah, I think that's quite telling. Obviously, the community rallied together to support something that they believed in.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting is that there are a lot of platforms out there, and I don't know if you guys have kept up with the whole debacle with Pledge Music, but there's a platform that's pretty prominent called Pledge Music that has been in the news over the past, I don't know, few weeks, maybe even a month now. And the problem they had was that when it came time for artists to get the money that they raised through their campaigns, it wasn't available.
Wow.
And now there's a total meltdown going on, and everyone in the music industry is talking about it.
What
So
a
that being said,
Yeah.
so that being
Fire
said,
fest of-
yeah, right. So that being said, let's
Of
talk
donate.
about maybe some of the things that you feel would be relevant in the platform that you would consider using, or maybe that you've used if anybody here has contributed to a campaign in the past. So what do you folks
Okay.
think?
Well, me personally, I feel like the cutting edge of crowdfunding right now would have to be Twitch. And I'm just saying is I know Twitch is like a whole nother medium of like video games and stuff, but if you've noticed this past year how Fortnite has like taken storm with popular culture, I think that Twitch is taking storm with popular culture as well. With YouTube, I feel like Twitch is like the new YouTube because everything is about live streaming now. You got Facebook live stream, Instagram live stream, Twitch live stream, Patreon, is that what they got going on? Some new ones that I've just heard of. But I feel like Twitch is such a golden opportunity because me personally, I've live streamed on there, like producing. And I know there's first of all, there's not a lot of women on Twitch. It's mainly a gaming thing. And number two, it's not a lot of producers on Twitch because I did my own personal research. What producers are on Twitch? So I feel like that would be a great, a golden ticket because video games is at the forefront of popular culture. Twitch is at the forefront of popular culture. And entertainment will always be at the forefront of popular culture. So if you could find a way to intersect the two, it won't kind of be like you're begging for donations. And Twitch, the whole theme is throw me money. You get on Twitch, you're on Twitch, people want to throw money towards you. That's the whole gist of the thing. You have kids and wealthy people. They're just, hey, $500, $1,000, and that's just been the overall theme. So if you're trying to get some money, you don't want to seem desperate. You want to be cool. Then I say get on Twitch because that's where it's at.
It's so awesome that there's so many resources like that you can discover and just kind of build off of. And
Right.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna check Twitch out.
It's an interesting
stealing my idea
phenomenon.
now.
It's an interesting phenomenon
Yeah.
because I know that there's some folks that I watch on YouTube and they're doing live video, and then I
Right.
guess it's, I don't know, super chat where people are literally just dropping money into their account as they're talking, and you're able to follow along with what they're getting, and they
Wow.
even, saying, "Oh, thank you for the $50 contribution." So it's an interesting phenomenon, and a different way to approach maybe raising money. And it's not even
Very
necessarily
transparent.
specific to a goal. It's just they're thanking you for whatever it is that
It's
you're
the
providing.
culture. It's the culture of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it.
Cool.
So what do you think for your artist? You're an artist manager. What do you think would be an important feature of a platform that's offering those services?
Well, I'm a little sketchy about some platforms, because as you said, there's a lot of scams out there. So I'm really careful about putting in money in other platforms. I usually try to do all the marketing and everything myself. It's because I have more control of it. But I did find a platform like the other day. It's fairly new for what I see. It's called Live Trigger. And it's like a map basically of Orlando, and it's gonna say venues that want bookings, artists that are looking for bookings, event producers that are like looking for other DJs or artists to book events. And like I found that nice in there. And there you don't have to put any money. Like that is the person registering themselves, and it's gonna say on the GPS this person is in Orlando. You can contact them through that page, and it's gonna send a direct message. But I do know that there are things that you have to put in money. I put money in Facebook ads, on Instagram, promoting the business, promoting the artist, the music. I did see when I did a little research about crowdfunding that the one that could interest me, because yes, there are people who want to throw their money away, but most of the people don't want to throw their money away. They think about it even registering for $1. So I know there is a part on crowdfunding, it's a rewards area. Since I manage some artists, it's a little easier in that topic because I can offer them like EP or free entrance to an event they have and things like that. So that's a little more attractive for people, I think, personally, and it could be a better way of accessing and using crowdfunding into my favor. Because I also don't want to be like promising like an investment area in crowdfunding, because sometimes you don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes things go good, sometimes things go bad, and it's bad if you owe people a lot of money and you promise a lot of things, and not only that you went wrong in that, it only like stains your name. So I'm always very careful about that.
Right. Any other thoughts on platforms or maybe some of the features that they offer the folks that are trying to raise money on?
Well, I mean, I'm just curious on
Yeah.
how, like, basically in this situation, you have to have a follow base that's gonna be able to put into. So, like for an event per se, you have to keep track of that. People that and obviously offer some sort of entry or like that's for me, I've always done when it comes to events. I've got you have your budget, you got everything. To what I'm gathering is like people putting in to see this event through. What does that mean through the door? Like, how does not only get your budget, but also get paid for what you're doing on the top. So that would be my question. I it's like, look, I'm not just trying to throw this thing. I'm trying to eat too.
This is my job. This is my career.
And it's a lot of work. These events have. I mean, as you were saying, dude, it'll take the wind out of you when you bust. But something like this to me, I just question like how can you come up on that? At least enough to go, okay, I can do this again, and become, because I mean you can only ask for money so many times.
Indeed. I think some of the considerations I would imagine would be, and I think you kind of alluded to this, the percentage that third party, that platform takes from whatever it is that you raise. So I would imagine that that's a significant consideration. The other thing I would imagine is, do you get the money if you didn't reach the goal? So that would be another important feature. I know one selling point for Pledge was that they actually don't disclose, from what I was told, what you've raised. So in other words, there's no, they're not really disclosing the money that's coming in or the money that you're even trying to raise. It's just that you're putting it out there and you're getting these contributions. Other than, and obviously other platforms where you see that number and then you see people either climb or not climb. That being said, you said something that I think is really important, and in many ways I think is paramount, I would imagine, to crowdfunding, and you had this, which is that you have to have the following. I think some folks
You got that
believe
space.
that if you make it, they will come, and I think we all know in reality in business that is never the case.
It'll tell you quickly.
But it seems like folks, you know, it's an alluring thing to be able to see some amazing Cinderella story of some band that put up, you know, a crowdfunding offer. They have a really cool video, and next you know they met their goal, and you know they've doing all these amazing things. I would imagine that the quintessential crowdfunding story is the one with Amanda Palmer, where she raised like I don't know over $1 million.
Yeah.
But I would imagine for the majority of artists, sadly, they're probably not meeting goals, if not getting
Right.
any funding.
Right.
So
Very difficult.
it kind of starts with your base, with your
Right.
audience, right?
Right.
No.
You gotta have it.
Exactly. You have to keep them engaged with social media, number one. But I feel like a lot of people, they just see the end result. That's what social media is about. And anyway, that's what the media is about. But when it comes down to it, you have to do the footwork. You know, face-to-face marketing is just as valuable as Instagram, social media marketing. They're both valued at 50-50 on 100%. You know, that's
Yeah,
the end
you're
of the
right.
goal. It's
You gotta be on
100%.
the
If you want to
ground.
go 100%, you have to do it both ways. You gotta be able to talk to people, you know, speak to people, market yourself, stickers, T-shirts. That's just, you know, that's just the groundwork. But once you've built your platform that way, you're always gonna have your loyal Instagram followers, your loyal YouTube followers. Once they've made that emotional connection,
Yeah.
monetizing emotional connection. That's what we learn. That's what we learn here. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that when it all boils down to it, once you've got that root in the ground, then you can just full force with all the platforms. Who said you just had to do one?
Yeah,
That's all
that's
I
true.
want to know. I said I could do all of them, like 10 of them, 15 of them. We can do them all at the same time.
Yeah.
We could do it on Facebook, on Instagram. We can do them on all the platforms. So,
Yeah.
you know, don't ever limit yourself. That's one thing the artist should know is that the sky is the limit. I just like to imagine the funding falling in
Yeah.
because it can once, you know, you put in that work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just got to do that.
So what do you think, Carol? You manage bands. What would it take for you feel comfortable for your artist to go ahead and implement a campaign?
For me, like it's all really about sitting down and organizing it completely. I'm completely open with the artists that I manage of funding any type of campaign they're interested in. But just that we do have to sit down and, you know, do things right, because sometimes just because an idea pops up in your head, you know, it doesn't mean you have to go forward with it just like that, how it popped up, you know? You have to give it a little shape.
Right.
You have to, how she said, you have to go on all the platforms. And not only that, after you get it, you have to stay consistent, you know? You have to commit, because you can have a hype like for 3 months, but if you don't keep it up and it goes down, like it's over. And getting it up again is really, really hard.
Right.
So for me, it's basically all about like what you want to do, what you want the people to see, you know, and what are we gonna give? Because you know, when somebody says, "Oh, check this out," and you register yourself, you're gonna, the first thing that pops out in your head, what do I get out of it? It's a subscription of letters. What's the topic that I'm gonna receive? You know, if it's music, what type of music? Is it the music I like? Is it music that I want to learn that I don't know? So it's all about attacking those areas, you know, because sometimes we get excited about something, but you know, not everybody is like me or you. People are different. There's different tastes, so there's a lot of things you have to, you know, sit down for. For me, it's all about doing a correct plan and choosing which platforms we want to attack, because each platform has a different public. And, you know, it's not all the same publics in every platform. So it's all, you have to do your research also about that. Like, and for me, I'm in the music business, so I need to go where there is event promoters, event producers, artists, people who own venues, you know, and I need to get a range of people that are around 21 to their 40s, you know, all of those things, statistics that I want to do, because I bet maybe there is a cool granny out there with 75 that she likes to
Probably.
party, but, you know, there are not so many of them, so, but there probably is one.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's all about checking it out and making a good plan.
Awesome. So, speaking of grannies and understanding your audience, do you think that there's a certain amount, or any of you, a certain amount of fans that you should have before you even think about launching it?
Of course.
Yeah.
You need that base.
Strategy.
All right.
Definitely need.
So is there a number, or what do you think?
Well,
What's the minimum?
For me, like a good, like a number to start that they will keep expanding your idea, because like that number is gonna be doubled, you know, because they share it or they tell a friend, or when they like it, people see it on their newsfeed that this person liked this. So like for me, like a good number to start, and this would be a low number, would be like 200 people, because that would mean 400 people, and that way it's
But
gonna
wouldn't
keep
two-
multiplying.
Would there be 200 diehard fans or just 200 fans?
200 fans to
Right.
start, because I want to keep, you know,
Right.
bringing more fans. So,
Right, right.
But at least 200 fans, so I know that that number is gonna be doubled. You know, because only like me, I obviously am a fan of the thing I'm supporting. So with me, him, and his family and our friends, like 50 people, we're not gonna go. It's gonna
Right.
stay in our personal circle,
Right.
and we want it to leave the personal circle.
Yep.
So
Wanna branch
that's
out.
why you have to like aim a little higher.
So what do you folks think, number-wise? Are you agreeing with the 200 number? What do you think?
Meaning to be able to raise.
Yeah, if you have a campaign that you want to launch for your band, or maybe for a music business venture, clearly we also have to know what the goals are. But you know, what would you say is the bottom number for a fan base before you even consider it? If we have 5 fans, we probably wouldn't do that unless there were 5 really rich fans.
And it's hard to tell what that is. I mean, like I sell music on Beatport and different, and you know the people that buy your stuff is a little bit, you know, to be able to watch that to see where those numbers are, and they tend to be a little bit smaller than, you know, because there's people that follow you on this, and you may get some likes on Facebook or whatever, but you can't really consider that as a fan base. It's kind of like who's really following your stuff,
Right.
who's really listening on SoundCloud.
Indeed.
Right.
Aspect where you can, you know, check out, pay the money, see who's, you know, how many people listen to this,
Right.
and you know, but I'd say I couldn't put a number on what fan like. You see how many people is buying your stuff.
I think it's something that you feel as you start building. I think the very lowest number that you should have is 2 strangers.
Yep.
You need one person who doesn't know you personally
Yep.
to believe in what you're doing, and then the way that it usually works is once you have a second person who believes in that, it'll kind of snowball and it'll keep going from there. And once that energy and that momentum starts building and you really feel it out, then it might be 6 or
Yeah.
7 or 800 or 1,000
Yeah.
people, but you're not
gotta
going to
keep up with
know
that, too.
unless you feel it. You can. It's something that is hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's a
You know-
feeling that it's like, all right, now's the time. We got to go right now.
And momentum, you just
Right.
keep
Yeah.
you don't stop because that's what you need.
And I like what you said, because you know, clearly everyone has some friends, some family, somebody that believes in them, that you know will give them money or support them regardless of the circumstances.
Exactly.
But that's not necessarily a fan of your music.
Right.
And
right.
and I think that is always, I think for any business owner, the hardest thing in the world to do is to sell something, as you mentioned, to a stranger.
Yes.
Someone that does not have you know, anything already vested in who you are and what you do. They don't have a
Yep.
connection, but they believe in whatever it is that you're putting on the table,
right.
and they find value in that. Speaking of value, I would love to learn from everybody at this table if you have ever contributed to a campaign, or what would compel you to do so. So I will tell you, full disclosure, I contributed to 2 fundraising or crowdfunding campaigns. One was to send someone that I believe very strongly into a prominent music industry festival, and the other one had to do with an artist that I am a supporter of, and he was having some medical issues, and I don't know him personally, but they put it up on one of the platforms, and I contributed money. So what would compel you folks, if you haven't already, to give your hard-earned money to someone's campaign?
I would just like to be, I would like to feel like I'm invested in their journey, because nowadays everything is about being transparent. So a lot of the newer artists that have emerged, I feel like I've been following them since their very humble beginnings, when they probably only had 200 videos, or not. That's not humble beginnings, but 200 views on a video. And once you're able to build, you feel like you're growing with the artist, you feel emotionally invested.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about in terms of any brand, whether it's music, cosmetics, things like that. People want to know your story because people just want to relate to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it's really about. As long as you're transparent with your brand, and that's all that really matters. Me personally, I've done the Drip Mag campaign out here. The way I went about doing it was just word of mouth. I had my clipboard of people. I was coming up to people. I have a background of like sales also, so I have no problem saying my pitch. Which I will do it.
Yeah.
And I have my stickers, I have my T-shirts, and it's all about you. It's about the artist. Hashtag put yourself on. That's what Drip Mag is about. So and then also seeing a successful campaign. I would say is Chance the Rapper's 10-day campaign. I remember because I was in high school at the time. I'm from Chicago, so I was able to kind of cover that event with U Media when I was downtown in Chicago, like in high school. And I saw that they were throwing parties. Not only they were doing word of mouth, they were like the cool people, but they also made sure that they did the legwork. It wasn't just about the internet, It was a combination of both. So I feel like the most successful campaigns, you can't just rely on the internet. You have to have a team of people who are willing to go out there and connect with people from the ground up. So that's what I think.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I did a campaign like 2 years ago when Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. I left to Miami. We did an event, a fundraising event. And we didn't do it directly with crowdfunding, but it's similar because we created an event with artists from Puerto Rico. Many of them flew out there. Some of them drove from here over there. And all that we did was maintain people all the time. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what we want to do. This is what's happening in Puerto Rico. Like, it was a big thing when it happened because a lot of people know it affected deeply the island. And so we did this little event in a place called Renes Winwood. And we also, not only DJs, we brought artists that they were doing live painting. We brought artists that they were selling their own clothes. Yes, we brought the culture to it,
That's good for that.
and people loved it. Like, we thought that the event was going to be a disaster because they were constructing something on the street, so the front of the venue was completely blocked. So we said, this is going to affect us. So we went out walking to Wynwood area, and I started to walk with our little flyers, walking around, like, hey, like, if you want to have some good music, there's also live painting, and there's also clothes and everything. Just please come, please. And like, a lot of people went to the event, and not only like people who didn't go, they even paid like the minimum $10 donation that we were looking for, because they felt so warmed by what we were trying to do, and they just wanted to help out. So like she said, like, when they feel part of the process, I think people are more open to when it comes towards to giving money, because they feel like they're part of it. Like, that is also from them, it's like it's such as mine as it is them. And obviously, like, I put a lot of work into it. I lost a lot of money into it also, like everything. But, this is all about what it's about, is you have to keep going. So I think it's just about that, making them feel about the part of the process.
And it's interesting because I was thinking music, and I had to revise my answer because I contributed to one of the Puerto Rico resources campaigns that they had.
Yes.
So I guess the other thing is, do you believe in, it could be a cause, do you believe in the cause?
Yeah.
So what do you guys have?
I did a Puerto Rico fundraiser here in Orlando, and it tanked pretty bad. So it was like, but I still felt good about it. We had people show up. We really didn't raise much money, but I figured that we wanted to do something, in that situation. That was the first time I ever did anything, on that level. I thought it was a good chance to help out, and that's but it's tough. It's really tough, to get people behind.
Right.
And here in Orlando, it's like it was. I feel like there wasn't a lot of on the ground, like what you did in Wynwood. That was very smart, to kind of gather people even in the moment. That would have helped out a lot.
Right.
But
So you talked about an event. I think that's a worthwhile discussion point, and maybe we could even close on this. You know, outside of the, sounds weird to even say this, traditional crowdfunding. What are other ways to raise money for something that you're looking to accomplish, to do outside of loans? How would you go about raising money to make something happen?
Well,
So what do you think?
you can do like
That's
a
the-
series, like sell like a series of events that you're gonna do that some people might want to go. You can sell like you're finishing a type of brand, like you're the first exclusive customer that's gonna receive this, and you're the only one that's gonna have this because people love like feeling exclusive.
Right.
That
Yeah.
they're the only ones that
Yeah.
have this. Like my partner, like he paints, and like the people who buy him his oh my god his paintings they usually love them because he only does them once, so they're the only ones who have them, you know, so they love that. And also like a couple of years ago I used to sell jewelry, and the same thing, I used to sell one piece like to the person because it was jewelry from Mexico, so it was handmade. So it was like people love that feeling, like feeling exclusive. So that's a good way of raising money. With music, like you can offer them like maybe an EP or a track that you're doing that everybody's psyched about having, that you haven't finished. They're the first ones who are gonna receive it privately. They're the first ones who are gonna hear it, or you can offer them to come free into one of your shows. You know, there's a lot of alternate ways like to raising money. Not only it has to grow through platforms, like, but it is a lot of word of mouth, you know, and going out there and putting the footwork to get it.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed.
It has to start with you. It has to start with your own brand, your own personality. And if you're entering into some sort of crowdfunding platform or direction, you can go any way you want. And it's really just an opportunity for you to kind of establish a brand or establish a direction in which your brand is going.
Yeah.
An example that I'd like to bring up is this drummer Josh Freese. He played with like all kinds of bands like Devo and the Vandals and some punk bands. But he came out with a solo album, and no one wants to hear the drummer's solo album. So he came up with all these like crazy perks, like going for a ride in his Lamborghini, like taking any piece of his drum set that you want, like getting drunk in the parking lot and cutting each other's hair, like weird, random things.
Very punk
like,
things.
yeah. But it was right up his brand alley, and the people who invested into that were like, well, this is a once in a lifetime. No one's ever gonna get to take home his car. He has one car, so
Yeah,
um,
a living room concert.
yeah, all kinds of,
Yeah.
all kind. I've paid for like handwritten lyric sheets and signed CDs and just like all kinds of stuff.
You know,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Awesome. Nice.
I personally think maybe free concerts that you can donate if you'd like. It's optional.
yeah,
Also parties. Like
yeah. I do
parties,
parties.
you know, it's just kind of about like everyone has their own hookup, kind of. So it's just where you can, where you and your strategy and campaign can benefit the most. You know, be realistic about it. Failures are fine because at least you learn.
Yep.
But you know, I feel like parties are a good one, and anything that you can just donate. Like I didn't donate because people want to donate if they feel like, you know. They'll donate if they feel compelled to do so. They feel like you need it. They might throw in a little extra $5. You know?
I like that.
So that's
Yeah, I've
that's a good
done
one, yeah.
parties, bartending. Like I did a yard sale. You
Yeah.
do all like whatever you can
Right.
to kind of just give back as much as you can possibly give.
Yeah, and giving
Awesome.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, wonderful insight into all of these different perspectives about raising money, crowdfunding, different ways. So I want to thank all of our awesome panelists. And right now, if I'm not mistaken, we have Aviary Blackberry about to perform a very soulful song. So you're going to check this out right now.
I'm sorry. to me. I know you live in a lap of luxury. Who knew that you would call me right, babe? Oh, I felt that monkey right on my back. Oh God, oh darling, I would like to know the truth. Is there a monkey on my back? 'Cause I can see it in your blues. Oh God, oh darling, I'm dealing with a monkey on my back. I need to know, do you wanna say it? Do you wanna go? I need to know, are you down for me or do you wanna go? I need to know, yeah, I need to know. Whoa, I need to know, yeah, I need to know. And it's funny, babe, how we don't go together and we sleep together. Why can't we grow together? I wanna know why you. I'm dealing with a monkey on my back. I need to know, do you wanna say it? Do you wanna go? I need to know, are you down for me or do you wanna go? I need to know, whoa, I need to know, yeah, I need to know, I need to know how we don't go together and we sleep together. Why can't we grow together? I wanna know why you. See, I'm dealing with a monkey on my back. Yeah, I need to know, do you wanna stay or do you wanna go? I need to know, are you down for me or do you wanna go? I need to know, yeah, I need to know. Whoa, I need to know, yeah, I need to know.